Two brothers were walking down the road. A stranger offered them a lift. The older brother was suspicious, so he refused and took his brother through the forest way. The younger brother was walking slowly. The stranger followed them and took him away. The stranger said to the child that he's going to be a sacrifice to the master and it's a great honor. He introduced himself as Servant Straker. The master was a vampire. He immediately consumed the sacrifice. A week later, the older brother was lured out of their house by his brother's music instrument. While he's searching for his brother, he was taken by force. Their mother suddenly woke up and saw him in her room. But before you think it was all a dream, the boy tells her he feels sick. The doctor says his blood is very low on red cell count. Later he wakes up and only the word thirsty comes out of his mouth. Before his mother can get water, he drank blood straight out of the blood bag and died while half his face is covered in blood. When the boy was being buried, he started yelling for help. When Mike looked inside, the body had no movement. Mike returned to work. But when he returns, the coffin is empty. When he turned around, the boy dragged Mike into the hole. Later the school teacher Matt finds Mike in a dark corner of a bar. Mike looked really abnormal. Matt decided to take him home. Matt noticed bite marks on Mike's neck. Later someone entered the room Mike's staying in through the window. Matt went straight to Ben and asked if he had a cross. Matt's almost sure at this point. He brings Ben and Susan home. He explains how crazy everything is. Then they looked at Matt when he said crazy, but they went inside anyway and found Mike dead. Ben advised him to let the cops take over. Ben also told him not to mention anything else. Later Matt asked the doctor about the boy's condition before he died. Doctor thinks it's not related to Mike's case, but Matt's already forming a theory. The older brother Danny targets his friend Mark next. Mark wakes up to see Danny floating outside the window. In this version, vampires must be invited into the house or they can't enter. Before Mark closed the curtains, Danny hypnotized him into letting him in. The cross in this movie glows in the presence of vampires. Mark used it to chase Danny away. But after all of this, he didn't go running to his parents. Instead, he made a promise to Danny that he'll free him. This kid had nerves of steel in this movie. Mark deduced the antique shop owner Straker would be the human servant to the vampire master. He found the strengths and weaknesses of a vampire through comics and decided to go kill Barlow. Matt is doing his own research through books, but Mike is already inside the house, transformed into a vampire. Matt used the cross he had for safety, but it only works if the vampire is in front of you. Mike hid in the shadows and attacked from the side. The cross fell out of his hands. Mike invited Matt to join them. He hypnotized Matt, but when Matt touched the cross, he was released from the hypnosis. He revoked his invitation to Mike. Mike was thrown out. A nurse told Doctor Danny's mother died, but it's hard to contact anyone in the lot these days, so they took her to some other mortuary. Doctor asked for Mike's body, but the body is missing. Doctor thought Matt might know something, so she went to meet him, but she found him injured and exhausted. Matt explained everything to Ben, Susan, and the doctor. The doctor called it superstition. She said if that's true, we can stay with the boy's mother's body till night because she died the same way. Matt said he's gonna research Straker and Barlow. Later Mark entered Straker's basement with a stake, but found Matt inside. Straker locked them both inside. Barlow got Matt. Straker took Mark. While waiting, the trio realized they didn't think this through. They weren't prepared to protect themselves if the mother really transformed. They made a cross with the objects they had. It worked, but it fell apart immediately. The vampire got the doctor. They made the cross again, and this time it turned the vampire into ash. The doctor used rabies shot on her. It worked. She didn't die. Back at Straker's place, Mark was tied up, but he managed to get free and even ambush Straker. But he didn't just leave when he had the chance. He finished the job. The trio asked Father Callahan to help. Callahan is old and he doubts the existence of a benevolent God every passing day. The world is just getting worse. Also, he didn't believe them. Then Mark enters. He said Matt is now one of them, but I managed to kill the servant. I came here for supplies. He said I had to kill Straker. It was the only way out. Even if Callahan didn't fully believe it, he thought he should get involved. When they reach the place, basement door opens for them, but they only find transformed Matt inside. Ben borrowed a stake from Mark to finish the job. Before he died, Matt said Barlow is coming for your families tonight. So they split up for now. In the lot, mails remain uncollected. Paper and milk are still outside. The streets are empty. The doctor goes to the sheriff to ask for help. The sheriff is running away. He's only looking out for himself. He didn't have hope they can defeat Barlow. Susan and Ben went to get her mom. Her mom previously wanted her to marry a man named Floyd and stay with her in the lot. But Susan was planning on leaving. Right now Susan is planning to take her to the church. But her mother said, I found a man. He's going to take care of us. I just have to watch over him during the day. Ben is seeing this from another room through a mirror. Susan suddenly behaved weirdly. Ben went into the room and saw Floyd biting her. The vampire didn't appear in the mirror. It was too late when Ben noticed and took her away. Susan's mother is the new servant of Barlow. Mark's parents are not listening to him or Callahan. Someone was at the door. When Mark's father opened the door and went outside, Barlow got Mark's mother. They got his dad also. The cross was not very effective against Barlow. Callahan warned Barlow that he's a priest. Barlow asked if he really is one. The light of the cross faded along with Callahan's faith. Mark hid inside his treehouse. Since it technically counts as a house, the vampires couldn't get inside. But Mark had to endure their taunts and screams all night. Ben asked the doctor to help Susan, but she's already transformed. The church was hurting her, so Susan ran away from there. Ben chased after her, but he was surrounded by vampires. Ben ran towards the church. Before he can enter, a vampire snatched him away like a rat. But the doctor threw him a stake before he was taken. Ben stabbed the vampire mid-air. Father and Mark didn't come back. They're alone in the church. When Ben asked about the sheriff, vampires threw his body into the church. When the son returned, they came to Mark's house. Mark's parents died and he spent all night enduring the vampires. But he's already en route to kill Barlow. He left a note for Ben and others. Danny was waiting to ambush Mark. There was bloodstain on a mirror. When Mark looked at it, Mark can see behind him in the mirror. This lowers his alertness a bit. Danny used this to attack Mark while being invisible, but it had no effect on Mark. He stabbed Danny in the heart. They noticed there's no cars anywhere on the street. Ben and Susan went on a date in a drive-in theater earlier. Ben thought that must be the hiding spot. All the vampires are sleeping inside the cars, including Susan. When the doctor tried to kill her, Susan's mother shot her down. Sun is going down. Vampires start waking up one by one. Ben held them back, letting Mark escape. But Mark instead used a car to bring down the screen. All vampires started burning in the sudden sunlight. He also hit Susan's mother with the car. They found Barlow's coffin, but sunlight is gone and Barlow came out with a bang. Turns out Susan was hiding inside the same building they entered to escape Barlow. Ben finally killed her, but before she died her eyes turned normal and tears flowed down. Throughout the movie people underestimated Mark and met their end. Barlow is completely focused on Mark. He forgot about Ben. This gave Ben enough time to deal the decisive blow.